Listen. Slow down. Do not rush past this moment like you have rushed past so many others. There is a reason your spirit paused right now. There is a reason your eyes landed here. There is a reason your heart feels a small pull, a quiet tension, a feeling that something unseen is pressing close. I did not come loudly. I did not come with thunder or noise. I came softly, the way truth always arrives when it matters most. And I need you to hear me all the way through, not with fear, not with impatience, but with awareness. I am speaking to you now as one sent to stand near you, to watch the path you walk, to guard what you cannot yet see forming. I know how many times you have heard promises. I know how many times hope rose in you and then fell back down, bruised and embarrassed. I know how cautious you have become. You tell yourself not to expect too much. You tell yourself it is safer that way. But there are moments when caution becomes a wall instead of wisdom, and this is one of those moments. There is movement happening around you that you did not cause and could not have forced. Quiet movement. Legal movement. Timed movement. Movement that required patience more than effort. You have been looking in one direction while provision has been arranging itself in another. You have been counting what is missing instead of noticing what is aligning. And yet, even in your tiredness, you kept going. Even in confusion, you did not quit. That matters more than you know. I need you to understand something very clearly. What is approaching your life is not random. It is not luck. It is not an accident. It is not because someone suddenly felt generous. It is connected to seeds you planted when you were unsure, when you were scared, when you wondered if it was even worth trying anymore. Some of those seeds were actions. Some were prayers you whispered when no one was listening. Some were moments when you chose integrity over easy escape. You forgot those moments, but heaven. Not. You may feel like money has always come to you with struggle attached, with stress attached, with delay attached. You may feel like relief never lasts long, like something always follows to take it away. That pattern is ending. Not because you became perfect, but because the lesson tied to that cycle has completed its work in you. You are not who you were when the struggle began. You think the delay was punishment. It was preparation. I know you are watching your account more often than you admit. I know you calculate silently, replaying numbers in your head, hoping they stretch further than they realistically can. I know the quiet panic that tries to rise at night when you think about responsibilities, about expectations, about people who depend on you or judge you. I know how heavy it feels to carry dignity when resources feel thin. You have done that with more grace than you realize. What is coming is not meant to inflate your ego or make you reckless. It is meant to let you breathe again. It is meant to remove pressure that has been compressing your spirit. It is meant to restore your ability to think clearly, to plan without fear, to give without resentment, to receive without guilt. You have associated money with stress for so long that peace feels unfamiliar. But peace is exactly what this provision is meant to bring. I need you to stay present now, because timing matters. The movement toward your account is already in motion. It is tied to a process that has been slow, deliberate, and precise. You may not see it today. You may not see it tomorrow morning. Recognition. Like something clicking into place. Do not announce this to everyone. Do not explain it prematurely. There are people who only understand your life when it is struggling. They will not know how to respond when it begins to stabilize. Protect this moment. Let it arrive quietly. Let it settle before you share it. Not everyone needs access to what is forming around you. I also need you to understand this is not the final peak. This is a shift. This is a signal. This is a door opening, not the destination beyond it. How you respond to this first movement will shape what follows. Panic spending, emotional decisions, trying to prove something to others, or trying to heal old wounds with money will dilute what is meant to multiply. Pause before you act. Breathe before you decide. Ask for clarity instead of reacting from relief. My beloved child. You have been tested in scarcity. For so long, you walked through seasons where every step required calculation, where every breath carried the weight of what might not be there tomorrow. You learned to stretch little into enough, to quiet your desires so they would not ache too loudly, to endure with a grace that few noticed but I saw every moment. That time was not punishment. It was preparation. Scarcity taught you endurance, yes, but it taught you far more than that. It taught you the depth of your own resilience, the quiet strength that lives in your bones, the way faith can whisper when everything else screams lack. You became intimate with trust in ways that abundance alone could never show you. Now you are being trusted with flow. This is different. It asks for a new kind of discipline, one that is softer yet less sacred. Where scarcity demanded you hold on tightly, flow invites you to hold wisely. Where scarcity taught you to guard, flow teaches you stewardship. Both are holy. Both are spiritual paths. Do not think that because the pressure eases, the lessons of the past become irrelevant. Carry them with you. Let the wisdom of those lean years walk beside you now like a quiet companion. It will protect you from waste, from carelessness, from forgetting what truly matters. The muscle of gratitude you built in wanting will serve you beautifully in receiving. The discernment you honed when choices were few will guide you when choices multiply. There is something I need you to hear clearly, without fear tightening your chest. This provision that is moving toward you is not a chain disguised as a gift. It is not meant to keep you tethered to places that dim your light or to people who take without replenishing. It is not here to trap you in old patterns under new circumstances. No, my love. This flow is freedom. It is the quiet power to say no when something feels wrong in your spirit, even if it looks right on paper. It is permission to walk away from situations you once stayed in only because you felt you had no choice. It is the deep breath of finally resting without the echo of guilt calling you lazy. It is the right to choose alignment over mere survival. You have underestimated how long your nervous system has been living in survival mode. You grew so accustomed to tension that you called it normal. You learned to carry worry like a familiar coat, even when it no longer fit. You told yourself you were a euro while holding burdens that were never yours alone to bear. You normalized exhaustion as proof of your worth. You mistook constant motion for purpose. I watched you do this, and my heart ached with tenderness, not judgment. You did what you needed to do to keep going. You were brave. But bravery in survival is different from thriving in peace. This shift will feel strange at first. Your body may not know what to do with ease. Your mind may scan for threats that are no longer there. You might feel suspicious when doors open too gently, waiting for the catch that never comes. This is normal. This is the echo of old protection trying to do its job even when the danger has passed. Be patient with yourself. Let the suspicion rise and then let it pass like clouds across a wide sky. Do not shame yourself for it. Simply notice it, name it, and release it. Your body is learning safety again. It is remembering what it feels like to unclench. It is relearning that rest is not the prelude to punishment. Allow this re-education to happen slowly. There is no rush. I want you to remember something very important about how energy moves in your life. Money, like all provision, responds to clarity. It flows toward order and resists chaos. When your inner world is Alignita Euro, when your thoughts, your words to yourself, your boundaries, your habits all move in the same direction Euro, your outer resources follow more easily. This moment is not only about finances. It is an invitation to clean house in every area. Look gently at where you still speak to yourself as if you are always behind, always lacking, always one step from falling. Those words have power. They shape what you expect and what you allow. Begin to speak differently. Not with forced positivity, but with honest kindness. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for this chapter to unfold. The timing of your life is not random. It is sacred. There are dreams you tucked away because they felt irresponsible without resources. Creative longings you silenced. Places you wanted to go. Ways you wanted to express yourself. Rest you wanted to take. Revisit them now, but gently. Not everything needs to happen at once. Some desires are meant to be unfolded slowly, like petals opening to morning light. Rushing them would bruise their delicacy. This is not a sprint to prove the provision real. This is a steady rise, rooted and sustainable. Trust the pacing. Some steps are small because they are building foundation. Others will come swiftly when the ground beneath you is ready. I know there is a part of you that is afraid to believe this too fully. Disappointment has been a harsh teacher. It trained you to expect less so the fall would hurt less. It taught you to brace even while hoping. But hear me clearly, disbelief does not protect you from pain. It only blocks your ability to receive joy. You do not have to force yourself into belief right now. That would feel false and tiring. Instead, simply stay open. Stay present. Let reality reveal itself in its own time. When the evidence visa Euro, when you see the change in your accounts, when you feel the release in your chest, when opportunities appear that feel like yes in your body Euro, do not immediately rush to calculate what is fixed and what is not. Pause. Sit with it. Let gratitude rise naturally, from the depths rather than the surface. True gratitude is not performance. It is recognition. It grounds what is coming to you. It keeps the flow circulating rather than allowing fear to dam it up. I am not speaking so that you become dependent on signs or messages or any external form of confirmation. I am not calling to you so that you begin to search the skies for symbols or wait for constant reassurances before you move. I am speaking so that when true alignment starts to show up in your life, when something beautiful begins to click into place, you recognize it. You do not brush it aside as random coincidence, you do not call it luck, and you do not allow the old patterns of disbelief to convince you that it is temporary or undeserved. I speak so you remember the language of Alignmenta Euro, the quiet knowing, the peace that hums beneath the surface noisy Euro, and so you can trust what your soul already knows to be real. You have spent years building strength in environments that required constant vigilance. You learned to prepare for loss even in the midst of gain, to brace for disappointment even while joy was standing before you. This pattern, once formed, felt like wisdom because it protected you. It helped you survive times when everything felt uncertain, when something good arriving often meant that a storm was close behind. You learned how to keep your heart safe by expecting less. You learned how to hold blessings with one hand and shield yourself with the other. And though that served you once, it no longer serves the self you are becoming. That armor that once felt necessary has grown heavy. It no longer fits the frequency of who you are now. It is time, gently and lovingly, to lay it down. You do not need to earn rest through pain. You do not need to prove your worth through endurance. You are not rewarded for exhaustion, nor are you made holier by struggle. You are alloyed fully, freely to be supported. You are allowed to receive without apology, to experience ease without suspicion, to stand in abundance without feeling you must trade something sacred to keep it. The path of grace is not about earning, it is about allowing. You are allowed to live in the sweetness of that permission, to breathe deeply into it until your body and your nervous system remember what peace feels like. It may feel strange at first. When you are used to striving, stillness feels unsafe. When you are used to scarcity, provision feels suspicious. When you have survived by tightening your grip, release can feel like loss. But this moment is not theft, it is transformation. What once kept you safe now keeps you small, and I am here, patiently expanding the edges of your understanding so that safety and openness can coexist. You are not being asked to abandon wisdom, you are being invited to evolve it. The wisdom that once kept you from harm can now serve to guide you toward wholeness. This shift does not make you weak. It does not make you naive. It does not mean you no longer care about growth or sacred depth. It means you are transitioning. You are crossing the threshold from a season of proving to a season of receiving. From endlessly trying to become to gently remembering that you already are. From closing your fist to opening your palm. From a life built around survival to a life shaped by purpose and peace. This transition may tremble at first, it will not always feel graceful. Change rarely does. But underneath the wobble is a deep stability, because I am near. My nearness is not to control you or to take over your will. It is to steady you. To whisper truth when fear starts to raise its familiar voice. To remind you of who you are when scarcity speaks in tones of urgency, convincing you that good things must vanish the moment you trust them. When those whispers come, remember, I am here. When self-doubt tells you that love must be earned, I hold the memory of your inherent worth until you remember it too. When shame knocks at the edge of your joy and tells you that rest makes you undeserving, I will remind you, rest is holy. It restores your ability to see clearly, to give, to create, to love without depletion. You were never alone, not in silence, not in waiting, not in those nights when your prayers sounded like echoes in an empty room. Even then, you were accompanied. You were seen. You were learning how to hold your own light even when external warmth felt far away. Every ache became a space where compassion was planted. Every loss carved out a deeper well for wisdom. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time, unfolding exactly as the design intended. As you move through this threshold, you will begin to notice opportunities that match your new frequency. Some will appear grand and undeniably doors opening wide, paths lighting up so brightly that you cannot mistake them. Others will appear modest, almost invisible at first glance. They will come as quiet invitations, a conversation that stirs something in you, a sudden idea that feels oddly effortless, a sense of calm around a possibility you hadn't considered before. These small moments are not to be ignored. They are divine signposts that speak in peace, not pressure. They will feel like home, like a deep yes in your body, like breath moving freely after holding too long. Follow that. It is not random, it is guidance. Peace is your compass now. Pressure will shout. Urgency will demand. Fear will rush. But peace, peace whispers. It is patient and kind. It does not push, it invites. It does not terrify, it reassures. Learn the difference. When making choices, do not ask which one is safer euro, ask which one is truer. Which one brings quiet certainty even if it brings change? Which one expands your heart rather than tightens your chest? That is alignment speaking. That is how heaven moves through intuition. Ground yourself through simplicity. Do not rush to force motion. Tend to your body euro, this sacred vessel that has carried your spirit through every storm. Give it gentleness. Feed it nourishment. Let it rest when weary. Move it with gratitude rather than criticism. Your body is not a project to fix, it is a home to honor. Tend to your environment euro, when you bring order to your outer space, clarity begins to rise within your inner one. The act of cleaning, of arranging, of lighting a candle or breathing fresh air into your space is not mundane euro, it is spiritual maintenance. It tells your energy, euro I am ready for clarity. Euro. Tend to your relationships. Notice the people who make your spirit exhale euro, the ones around whom you do not need to perform or shrink. Notice the ones who listen without trying to fix, who celebrate your becoming without comparing it to their own. Keep them close. And for those connections that drain, that pull you back into cycles of guilt or insecurity, you may step away with love. Distance does not equal condemnation. It is a way of honoring both your energy and theirs, trusting that each is guided to the spaces where they can grow best. Tend also to your words. Speak gently when you speak about yourself. Replace self-criticism with compassion. Each word is a seed, and every seed grows into something. Plant words that nourish life. Let your inner dialogue become a sanctuary, not a battlefield. Speak to yourself as you would to the most cherished person in your care, because when you do, the energy of your entire inner world begins to change. Whisper to your own heart that it is safe to hope again, to open again, to be seen again. You will be amazed at how quickly it softens in response. These small acts euro, the body tended, the space cared for, the mind spoken to with love euro, are not trivial. They are the daily rituals through which provision takes root. They are the quiet garden work that allows abundance to blossom naturally. Nothing in your growth has been wasted. Every effort, every pause, every tear, every laugh has contributed to the soil of what is now ready to grow. What is moving toward you is not illusion. It is not a passing fantasy or wishful thinking dressed in spiritual words. It is real euro, timed with divine precision, arriving exactly when your readiness and the world euro's alignment intersect. You may not see all the pieces yet, but the orchestration is flawless. It is designed not merely to meet your material needs but to activate expansion euro, the kind that ripples outward into the lives of others. The blessings on their way are meant to strengthen your capacity to create, to give, to love deeply without depletion. For so long you have poured from a well you thought might run dry. Now the flow returns euro, not because you begged, but because you are finally still enough to receive it. Beloved one, let me speak a little longer into the quiet place of your heart, because this season you are in is delicate, and it deserves to be held gently, not rushed or questioned away. What you are experiencing now is not random softness. It is not a pause before another storm. It is the beginning of a different rhythm of life, one that your nervous system, your spirit, and your tired hope are still learning how to recognize as safe. For a long time, your body learned to stay alert even when nothing was wrong. Peace felt suspicious. Calm felt temporary. Joy felt like something you had to monitor so it would not be taken away. So when these small moments of ease arrive now when you notice your shoulders drop without effort, when your thoughts slow without discipline, when laughter comes without a reason euro, you may feel a flicker of disbelief. Part of you waits for the catch. Another part whispers, a euro I don't euro t get used to this. A euro but listen closely, beloved. These moments are not tricks. They are training. They are teaching you what it feels like to live without bracing for impact. Each gentle idea that comes without strain, each solution that appears without panic, each hour where rest feels safe again a euro, these are not accidents. They are glimpses, yes, but not fragile ones. They are sturdy previews, like stepping stones across a river you no longer need to swim against. They are the universe, the divine, whispering softly, a euro ethos is where you are headed. This is the ground you are learning to stand on. A euro when you notice them without grasping, when you receive them without fear, you signal readiness. Gratitude does not just thank what is here euro, it tells life you are prepared for more of the same. So do not rush through this chapter as if it is only a hallway to something else. This chapter is alive. It is shaping you from the inside. Awareness is not passive, it is participation. When you stay present with what is unfolding, you stop fighting the current and begin moving with it. You are no longer standing outside your own life, waiting for proof that you are safe. You are stepping inside it, breath by breath, moment by moment, allowing trust to grow where tension once lived. Pay attention to your energy, not with judgment, but with curiosity. When heaviness passes through your awareness, do not label it as failure or setback. Simply notice it. Name it. Breathe through it. You do not need to exile discomfort to remain aligned. And when joy visits a euro, when lightness shows up unannounced a euro, do not tighten around it. Do not shrink it. Let it expand in you fully. Let laughter echo. Let ease linger. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into sanctuaries because it teaches the soul that it is safe to be here now. There will still be moments when uncertainty rises. Old reflexes do not disappear overnight. Sometimes you will feel that familiar tightening in your chest, that old thought that says, a euro ethos one euro t last a euro or a euro ve felt good before and lost it. A euro when that happens, pause. Place your awareness back into your breath. Feel the ground beneath you. And gently remind yourself, a euro ethos time is different. A euro not because you are forcing a positive thought, but because it is true. You are not the same being who endured the past. You are not operating from the same wounds, the same unconscious patterns, the same survival mode. You have grown wiser. You notice sooner. You choose differently. You no longer mistake intensity for love or struggle for worth. You are learning to receive without guilt, to expand without fear, to be guided without clinging. This is not arrogance. This is maturity of the soul. You are breaking cycles not through resistance, but through awareness. And awareness is powerful because it changes what you attract without you having to fight anything away. You are practicing a new way of being in the world. A way where support feels natural instead of embarrassing. A way where flow feels familiar instead of suspicious. For years, you held yourself together through discipline alone. You planned, endured, pushed, managed. You became strong in ways that no one applauded. But now, beloved, something has shifted. You are being held. Not by effort. Not by control. But by a rhythm larger than you, a euro, a divine intelligence that does not demand exhaustion as proof of devotion. Grace is entering your life in ways that do not require you to earn it. Love is showing up without measurement. Support is surrounding you without contracts. This may feel unfamiliar at first. You may even feel exposed, as if laying down the identity of the struggler leaves you without armor. But that armor was heavy. You carried it longer than you should have. It kept you alive, Yesa. Let yourself feel the relief of not having to be everything for everyone at once. Let yourself rest without apologizing. Let yourself pause without explaining. Stillness is not stagnation. It is strength choosing balance. Even in rest, you remain radiant. Even in quiet, you remain purposeful. Nothing about your value diminishes when you stop striving. In fact, this is where your true presence begins to shine. I am with you in every breath of this transition. Not watching from afar, not testing you, but walking with you as you unlearn old survival scripts and write new ways of being. I rejoice in your bravery. It takes courage to stop fighting. It takes courage to let yourself be loved without conditions. It takes courage to open your heart again after it learned how to protect itself so well. You have walked through lessons that others might spread across lifetimes, compressed into seasons that asked everything of you. And yet, you stand here with tenderness still alive in you. That is not weakness. That is not fragility. That is miracle. A heart that remains soft after hardship carries immense power. It can receive what a hardened heart would block. Know this deeply, you are loved in every state you pass through. In scarcity and abundance. In confidence and doubt. In hope and uncertainty. Love has never withdrawn from you, not for a moment. The same divine current flowed through you when you had little and when you had enough. It shaped resilience in you. It deepened your empathy. It sharpened your inner vision. It taught you how to listen for whispers instead of demanding thunder. What is coming will not erase your past. It will redeem it. You will see how every delay was not punishment, but protection. How every closed door redirected you toward timing that could actually hold what you asked for. You will begin to trust without constantly checking for danger. Trust will become your default, not fear. Ease will become familiar. Peace will expand instead of constrict. The best was never meant to sit behind you like a memory you revisit with sadness. It is unfolding now. Into relationships that nourish instead of drain. Into work that fulfills instead of consumes. Into peace that does not require vigilance to maintain. Allow this goodness in. Let it arrive fully. Let it stay longer than you think you deserve. Let it teach you that ease can exist without guilt attached. Let this goodness soften you. Let it change you in tender, powerful ways. Let it remind you that divine love was never something you had to prove through suffering. It was always something meant to be received through presence. And when you forget because sometimes you will return to your breath. Return to this moment. Return to the knowing that you are held. Always have been. Always will be. With endless patience, unwavering gentleness, and love that does not measure. Your angel.